From smashing bus windows to sending mascots to hospital, these are times Conor McGregor lost control on TV. And it was after Conor and Dustin Poirier's fight back at UFC 264 got cut short after Conor suffered a gruesome injury that resulted in one of the most viral clips in the UFC.
That he believes that one of the kicks that he checked is what broke your leg.
There was no check. There was not one of them I checked. Your wife is in me DMs, hey baby, hit me back up, I'll chat to you later on.
So the fight ended abruptly after the end of the first round after it was discovered that Conor had snapped his leg. And you can see that Conor was clearly not happy with the loss, and he was especially infuriated with the idea that Poirier checked a leg kick during the round, which caused him to break his leg. Instead, he insisted that he had obtained stress fractures during the fight's training camp, to which had him walking around in a boot when he wasn't training. Anyway, this led to Conor calling out Dustin's wife for allegedly trying to slide into his DMs, and he even posted a screenshot just days before the fight showing exactly this. And if you thought that this was out of hand, what Conor did to this random guy at a bar had people furious. Because back in April 2019, Conor was visiting a local bar at his hometown in Dublin, Ireland. Now Conor actually owns his own whiskey brand called Proper 12, which he is known to buy random bar patrons a round of whenever he goes to a bar that has Proper 12 in stock. So upon entering the local Marble Arch pub, Conor greeted the patrons and as usual offered to buy everyone in the bar a round of his whiskey. However, not everyone was excited to see Conor, and there was one man who, instead of taking Conor's offering, decided that he didn't want the whiskey. Conor got mad and felt that the man was being disrespectful, which ended out in a verbal argument between the two before Conor actually punched the man in the face before he was quickly escorted out of the bar. And following up to the situation, Conor was found guilty of assault and ordered to pay a €1,000 fine. But this wasn't the end of it, because Conor also ended out purchasing the bar and banning the man he assaulted from it. Anyway, this definitely wasn't a great look for Conor, and this wasn't the only time he fought someone outside the ring, because back in July 2015, right before Conor was set to fight Chad Mendes at UFC 189, Mendes' training partner, Uriah Faber, stumbled across McGregor in the hallways of the arena.
He runs into Uriah Faber, Chad Mendes' teammate. And look at it, they go right at it, and you can see Uriah Faber's like confused. At first he thought he was joking, then he gets confused, then he walks away.
The two began a short altercation after they began joking around with each other, and it appeared that the situation quickly elevated after both Conor and Uriah began putting their hands on one another, which led to the two wrestling for a short moment right before Conor was set to fight. And this would be the start of a rivalry, as Conor and Uriah became opposing team coaches on The Ultimate Fighter Season 22 later that year.
Yeah, looks like a orange cotton candy.
You look like a 50-year-old retired skateboarder.
But it was Conor's beef with this next fighter that almost had him sent to prison. And just quickly, if you guys are enjoying the video, subscribe to the channel. We have heaps more coming. It all went down during the media day for UFC 223 back on April 5, 2018. Khabib Nurmagomedov was set to fight Al Iaquinta as the main event for Conor's vacated lightweight belt. However, as it got closer to the fight, an online altercation went down between Conor's teammate Artem Lobov and Khabib, which resulted in Khabib confronting Artem in person, even slapping him. Conor was pretty much infuriated that Khabib confronted his teammate, so on the media day of the event, Conor invaded Barclays Center where the media day was happening before he and several members of his entourage started attacking a bus which had Khabib and his team on board. And during the attack, this happened. As you can see, Conor picked up and threw a dolly at Khabib's team bus, shattering the window in the process. Several fighters inside the bus were cut from the shattered glass, and both Michael Chiesa and Anthony Pettis, who had upcoming fights for UFC 223, had their fights cancelled due to their injury. Conor was arrested the same night as the incident and was charged with 3 counts of assault and 1 count of criminal mischief, and agreed to a plea deal which involved a $50,000 bail, 5 days of community service, and an order to attend anger management classes. And this wasn't the first time Conor put someone in hospital outside of the octagon, because back in June 2023, Conor made an appearance at Game 4 of the NBA Finals between Miami Heat and Denver Nuggets. At three-quarter time, Conor was invited to speak about a promotional product, for which the crowd started booing him as soon as he got on the mic.
I'm a founder and an owner in the brand. This is state of the art, next generation paint ready.
Anyway, at the end of the pitch, the Miami Heat mascot approaches Conor, to which the two were supposed to engage in a boxing skit. However, Conor took things way too far.
Star Conor McGregor was supposed to pretend to slug the Miami Heat mascot in a pre-planned skit during the NBA Finals, but he ended up sending him to the ER.
So fans had no idea that the whole situation was a skit, but regardless, Conor actually hit the mascot way harder than he was supposed to, and the guy was sent to the emergency room. And even referees aren't safe from Conor, because back in November 2017, Conor was attending Bellator 187 to watch his close friend, Charlie Ward, fight at the event. Right at the end of the first round, Charlie hit his opponent, John Redmond, with a huge left hand that slumped Redmond to his knees. The end of the round bell then sounded, and everyone watching, including Conor, thought the fight was over after that punch, as the referee stepped in between the fighters right away. However, the referee actually hadn't stopped the fight, but instead was separating the fighters because the end of the round bell just happened to ring at the exact moment it all went down, which led for everyone, including the commentators, to think that the fight was being called off, with Charlie being the winner. Then this happened.
He was cut, he was hurt, and man, he uncorked a shot that dropped Redmond. Seconds left to go in the round.
And look who's in to celebrate with him. The notorious one.
So as you can see, the referee, who hadn't actually stopped the fight, began separating Conor from Charlie, and he wasn't happy and began pushing and yelling at the ref because he thought the referee was just trying to get in the way of him celebrating with his friend. The whole situation was just a big misunderstanding, but regardless, after then being able to assess the situation, the referee did in fact end the fight, announcing Charlie Ward as the winner by knockout. And what Conor did next caused the press conference to be shut down. It all happened back at a press conference for UFC 202 in August 2016. Conor McGregor was facing Nate Diaz, and during the press conference, Nate randomly gets up and walks out of the press conference before cursing at Conor and his team and throwing a bottle of water in their direction.
Your whole team, how about that?
Your whole team. Little crack says. You'll do none. You'll do none.
And in response, this happened.
No, Woolies will do none. Get out of here. Get out of here. You.
Conor, don't throw those fucking hands. Conor. That's a wrap. I'm out of here.
Conor starts throwing every bottle he can find at Nate and his team, all whilst Dana tries to wrap up the press conference and stop the situation from escalating. And those are times Conor McGregor lost control on TV. If you enjoyed the video, you'll love this one next.